YouTube, what's happening? It's Mike and Jack with God's Wrench. Today we're going to be replacing an alternator on a 2006 Ford Explorer. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Like, subscribe, check out the website in the description below. We got tires, tools, parts, you name it. Let's do it. Step number one, we're going to disconnect the battery. You always disconnect the negative terminal first, then you disconnect the positive terminal. When you connect the battery, you connect the positive terminal first, then the negative. When you disconnect this thing, make sure the terminals aren't going to touch each other, but also make sure they're not going to touch the battery post. Bada bang, bada boom, or else you're going to see some sparking and arcing, and we don't want no sparking and arcing, if you know what I mean. All right, let's dive in. We're going to remove this air box. We got to remove the mass airflow sensor first. Bada bang, bada boom, bada bing, 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 boom. Pull that little red clip out right there. Then push down right in front of it and pull. Then we're going to disconnect these clips right here. You just pull them up, bam. Bam, then pull up and out on the air box, and it'll just pop right out of its little place right there. Right out of its little home. Boom. It's free. It is free. Now we're going to disconnect this little air line right here. You're going to push that little green tab forward, and then you're going to pull out on the hose. So you pull it forward, pull out, forward and out. Now we're going to come back down here on the back end of the motor, and we're going to disconnect this hose clamp. I'm going to use a flathead screwdriver. You can use an 8mm or 7mm. I can't remember which one it is, but it's one of the two. But I used a flathead. Just usually hose clamps are 7 or 8mm sockets in general. But I'm using a flathead screwdriver. Ripping and dipping. Rip and dip. All right. Now, give it a good tug. Give it a good little wiggle. Pull on it. Might yank it. Beat it. All right. It's free. Now, you just want to move this out of your way because you want to give yourself some work room. You know what I mean? No one likes working in a cramped area. My motto is if it's in your way, just remove it. Remove it. You'll thank yourself later. All right, let's keep diving in deeper. Now, there's the alternator. We're done. Just kidding. All right. You pull this little cover back, and we need to remove that bolt. See this little cover? You can move that little cover back some. That way you can access the little bolt. That's like the power to the alternator right there. The shebang cable. All right. Now we're going to disconnect that bolt. Dang, that was quick. Dang. Whew. I didn't know I could move that fast. All right. Now you always want to move your bolt or put your bolts in a safe location. I don't like putting my bolts inside the engine just in case I knock them down in there and I lose them. So now that cable is free, we got to disconnect. Wait for it. Wait for it. Ta-da! That clip right there, we're going to have to get a screwdriver. Or I used a pick. Well, it's actually a screwdriver I made into a pick that works perfectly for this. But if you have a pick, it'll work just fine. We got to pull up. There's a little tab on that clip. You can kind of see it. You can kind of see it. Couldn't really get a good angle, but look. I literally pry up on this thing. It took me a minute, though. I'm not going to lie. This is a hard clip. But I pried up on it. Bam, it came free. It's free! All right, so it's free. You see that little top piece right there? Right there, yeah. That's what we pulled up on to get it off. There's like a little latch on the alternator itself. But yeah, you pull up on that little clip. I'll show you what it was clipped onto. So you look right there. You see that little hump? It slides in between there, and it was stuck on that. That's why you gotta pry that piece up over that little hump. Bada bang, bada boom. Once you do that, you're golden. All right. Now, we're going to disconnect this doohickey right here. So you want to get a screwdriver, put it right there, and just pry. Like literally just stick it in there and just kind of twist the screwdriver just a little bit and pull, and it'll come off. See, it was latched onto that little hump right there too, and you got to get it over that hump to get the clip off. to get the wires off. All right, but now that that's free, you pulled it off that hump. We're good. We're moving quickly here. We're making progress, people. Keep with me now. Now I'll get you a little, this is a tool specifically made for getting off clips. A screwdriver will work, but this will definitely work way better, as you can see. Boom. Give it a good wiggle once you get it loose enough. Now move the cables out of the way. Get everything out of your way. Now look at your belt and all the pulleys. Draw a diagram of exactly how your belt goes around these pulleys. That way, if your belt falls off, you don't forget how the belt went on there. So I drew a beautiful little diagram right there on some old bale. All right, now, find your tensioner. It's directly below your alternator. There's a little 3/8 hole down at the bottom. That's big enough for a 3/8 ratchet. They make a belt tool as well, but I felt like the 3/8 ratchet worked just fine. So if you ain't got a belt tool, don't stress. And you're going to have to angle it just right and find a little 3/8 spot. Bada bang, right there. There it is. There it is. Yep, indeed. Right there. Yep. You might have to push it a little just to make sure it doesn't pop out on you and you bust your elbow or something. Alrighty, alrighty, alrighty. Now you're going to give it a tug and you're going to relieve the tension on the belt. You're going to pull it toward the passenger side of the vehicle. Bada bang, bada boom. Here's a different angle from the passenger side of the vehicle. You can see how the belt's slowly releasing the tension. Slide your belt off and just gently set it down right below it. You don't want it to slide off the other pulleys or else you're going to be working a lot harder. And we work smarter, not harder. Now, if it does fall off, we drew that diagram. So now that it's free indeed, you can see. All right, now we're going to break these 3 bolts loose that hold the alternator in place. Now I'm going to show you a little trick on how to break them free without busting your knuckles. All right, so there they are again. You're looking at the alternator from the passenger side of the car, so you have a better angle to see what I'm doing here. All right, break them free. I already broke those 2 free, but this is how you break them free. You're going to hit the back of your ratchet. Don't go tugging on it full strength, because when it slips, you're going to bust your elbow, bust your knuckle. You're going to throw a wrench across the yard. Then you're going to be looking for your wrench, and then you're going to need the wrench to put your car back together, or your ratchet. All right, but this is how you bust it free. Once it's on the socket, just hit it with the palm of your hand. Hit the back of your ratchet with the palm of your hand. Bada bang. Speed lightning. There we go. Don't forget that little clip on the bolt. Don't lose it. All right. That's it. Let her rip. Let her rip, tater chip. Whoop, 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 whoop. What's going on, mechanics? If you found this video helpful, please be sure to like, subscribe. Oh, there's a bee. There's a bee. Oh my gosh, it's chasing me. Be sure to like, subscribe, check out the website in the description below, and leave a comment of your favorite coffee. Ugh.